Them sees a group of teenagers at an LGBTQ conversion camp endure unsettling psychological techniques while being stalked by a mysterious, masked killer. This is written and directed by John Logan, and it was released by Blumhouse on Peacock in early August. Now, when I first heard about this one, I was definitely intrigued, considering its premise and who was involved, with Kevin Bacon, who also serves as the executive producer, as our main villain. So, given all that, I felt this had the chance to be this fun, schlocky B-movie that would also be inclusive in terms of its representation. And while it succeeded in terms of the latter, with some commendable themes brought up in terms of being true to yourself, it unfortunately fails when it comes to the former. Now, I will say this isn't an unbearable experience or anything like that. In addition to what I mentioned earlier in terms of its representation, the cast is also solid. Kevin Bacon is, as expected, great as the villain, chewing up the scenery where he can as the head of this camp who disingenuously tries making himself seem more understanding than he is, which everyone sees right through. And the entire supporting cast of the unwitting campers were also solid, with Theo Germain being the big standout as Jordan, who leads the charge into uncovering what's really going on within this camp when they suspect it's hiding some pretty dark secrets. They had the most compelling arc, though I also thought Katon as fellow camper Alexandra, who has a nasty run-in with Kevin Bacon's Owen early on, was also pretty endearing. Though all the performances in general are solid enough to make this watchable, this ultimately falls flat due to its tonal issues, as what's odd about this is the fact that it's a slasher movie that seems to forget it's a slasher movie for most of its runtime. Now, it does play into its horror aspects at times, showcasing how these camps are a real-life horror to those that they harm. But I need to stress that it's only at times it plays into its horror elements overall, or really anything truly captivating. Because for most of its runtime, this instead feels like something out of a cheesy Hallmark movie, complete with poorly written dialogue that the cast do their best to salvage, along with a really heavy-handed score, often overpowering each scene. And the way some of the scenes play out, sometimes in a seemingly mundane way, it would just drain the story of any sort of tension. And this mysterious killer storyline felt more just like a subplot rather than the main story, as it's put on the back burner for so long that whenever the film suddenly decides to switch into slasher mode, it feels like something out of a totally different movie, making this feel tonally uneven, at least into the last 20 minutes or so when it goes into all-out slasher mode, and even then, it still felt tame. So in that regard, I was disappointed. Considering the film had a number of different paths it could have possibly gone down, it should have committed fully to one of said paths and completely own it. That way, it could have been the great B-movie that it had the potential to be. So all in all, Them isn't awful, but it definitely is disappointing. While a strong cast, especially Kevin Bacon, make it decent enough, the film ultimately had a problem of committing to what sort of movie it wanted to be, being tonally imbalanced and disjointed, leading to an experience that's watchable, but unfortunately falls flat. Them gets a 5.5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Them, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? How does this compare to the Blumhouse's other movies, and how does it compare to Kevin Bacon's other movies? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.